first of all, before you can get your cake very easy to handle, the best thing is to always have it frozen before you trim it. That seals in all of the crumbs that come with it and helps it to trim better, and then it reduces how much cake would waste while you are trimming. So the first step is to trim off the surface part of the cake. You always have to do that and get it leveled out before you apply your buttercream. Even if your cake is 100% leveled, I'd always advise that you trim off the surface part, especially because that's like the part of the cake that has the most moisture. And when you do that, when you do not trim that part, what happens is your cream can easily glide off the cake, and then you can have slips and accidents. But here now, the reason why I'm applying this method is because I don't really want to trim out my cake too flat. Ideally, I should just trim it all the way down and cut it, but I don't want to trim it all the way down. So I'm still trying to like do some patchwork, which is very much allowed. Just do some patchwork. It's more like the dirty job. Definitely you trim it all out and everything will get, evened out. You get. And it's my own way of not even chopping off so much cake and wasting it. So yeah, this is the most technical part of my own decoration. I'm saying for myself, because that's the part where you know if you're going to end up with a straight cake, a bent cake, a cake that is well trimmed, that would have perfect edges or not. Every other thing is a lot easier, and that's why this part of my decoration takes a lot of time to achieve. I can spend as much as an hour trimming a cake, depending on how big or if it's going to have fillings or not. So yeah, I also don't like to put a lot of cream in between my cake, except it's requested by the client, because I always like a situation whereby anybody eating the cake can actually appreciate the true texture, the original taste, and the actual taste of the cake without having to eat a lot of cream or without having to scrape off a lot of cream. But I've had clients that have actually specifically requested that I put in so much cream between the cake, and of course I have to oblige, because yeah, the customer's need is the most priority. But for those that leave me to do my thing, I don't put a lot of cream. You can eat the cake with cream and still not know that. You can eat the cake with cream and still not feel like you're slapping on so much cream into your system. Yeah, so you can see that from here now, the layer that seemed somewhat not so leveled is now leveled. So I repeat the process with the second layer of the cake, which is going to be a red velvet cake. So, and there's a tip. Once you bake up your cake, it's always very much advisable to wrap them up with cling film so you can retain the moisture. Even if you do not, anyways, for me, I don't decorate my cakes immediately I bake them, because they're dessert cakes. I believe in the what's this thing called? I believe in the theory behind having a mature tasting cake. So when I bake a cake today, for instance, I wouldn't decorate it till the following day at least. And that's because, yeah, my cakes keep, they're always fresh, yes, but the time frame with which I would put it in the freezer for it to hold up gives me a better result if I were to do like an emergency cake and I have to decorate it immediately I bake it. One is not going to be firm up enough because it's going to be warm. So I like to work with cold cakes very strictly, especially because usually my cream, being whipped cream, is a cream that goes better with cold cakes. Yeah. But if it were to be a fondant covered cake, I would actually still put it in the freezer, like I said. I always avoid, I always try my best to never skip that part. So even if I know that I can't work with a cold cake with a fondant decoration, I just still put it in the freezer. Once it's cold, I bring it out back and then let it come back to room temperature. That is before I work on it. But if it's a cold cake, like a dessert cake, I just go ahead to work on it immediately, because the firmer it is, the better for me, really. So yeah, I'm using the same process I used for the first one, for the second one as well. And for those that ask that, what do they do with cakes like this, like the surface, the ones that will trim off the surface without having to throw them away? There are a wide range of stuff to do with it. First of all, if you are somebody that does cakesicles for business, you can use them to make your modified cakesicles, like not the bake and dip style, the coating and the crumb style. If you're not doing that, you can use the crumbs for cake pops. And if you're not still using it for those, you probably can just eat it up. Enjoy it. It's cake after all. And of course, you can give it out to people that are interested in eating it. Like me, I have a lot of people at every point in time that want to eat cake. So all of this kind of cakes don't get to waste. I always have somebody that wants it. So repeating the process again. And let's put another one so that the memory will not finish. You understand? Don't do it again now. Just wait 2 minutes. Okay. So I've put the third layer on top of the cake. So what I'm doing now is just to level it out and then trim up the sides. And even without finishing, I'm sure you can see that it already looks straight. This is going to be a 3-tiered cake though, so reason why the layer is just 3. Though the design just calls for 3 layers, I've had to do 3-tiered cakes that have 4 or 5 layers. So for the purpose of this class, it's just going to be these 3 layers. I'm repeating the process for this and this as well. When I'm done with everything, then I'll show you all how the result looks like. So always bear in mind that when you're trimming your cake, always keep steady hands. Alright, there are a lot of trimming techniques, but I find this the easiest and the fastest for me, and it is always so effective. There is another one that you have to flip the cake a couple of times, to keep trimming. I do that sometimes, but not all the time. I don't find that convenient at all. So as long as this is going to give me the same result as that, and I'll achieve this result faster, I'd go for this. So yeah, it depends on you, but bear in mind that this is what I do maybe 95% of the time for my trimming. only that it can be very hard on your back because you need to bend and turn and all of that. But yeah, nothing is easy, because even the other one that you wouldn't need to bend and turn and all of that, it still takes a lot of time to achieve. So yeah, there isn't anything out there that is so easy to achieve. And if you're someone that works with fondant cakes, the trimming part isn't going to be much of a problem, because for your fondant cakes you need to turn, you need to bend, you need to knead, you need to work up all of your muscles, like seriously. So if you do that, trust me, this part of the cake will just be a walkover. It's not going to be so much of a big deal. So I'll be back to show you when I'm done with the trimming, alright? Okay.
Mommy and Daddy.
The cakes have been nicely trimmed. This is exactly how it's going to look before I get it dressed up. But you can see that even from the first stage of the cake, it already looks pretty. You can share your thoughts. Let me know what you think, and if you learned a thing or two. See you next time. Bye.